Hey guys, I got another design video for you, and today we're going to be talking about the Enchantress design that I designed for DFX and we released during the DFX Black Friday sale. Let me start off by saying that mid-ranges are a big part of my game. I absolutely love throwing mid-ranges. I mean, if you get a mid-range that you really love and you get it dialed in, like there's nothing better. You go throw that thing in the woods and you don't really even need a driver a lot of times because you can work the mid-range to get all the distance and control you need. So having said that, for the longest time there were two mid-ranges on the market. There was the Innova Rock, and then the Discraft Buzz came along, and that was just as popular, if not more popular than the Rock. For the longest time, those were the two go-to mid-ranges, but now Axiom has released the Hex, and it is as good, if not better, than the other two options, depending on what your priority is. It's so good that I thought, hey, it really deserves its own dedicated stamp. So let's make a stamp that will only ever be stamped on a hex. It's not going to be stamped on insanities or envies or anything like that. Let's make a hex specific stamp and let's throw a bunch of really cool hex stuff in there. So the very first thing I thought of was, well, I mean, it's a hex and its two main competitors are the rock and the buzz. So let's make some kind of witch casting a hex onto its competition, the rock and the buzz. So that's what we have here. We have the rock feather on one side of the design, and we have a bee wing or a buzz wing on the other side of the design. And she's got like these whimsical, magical swirls wrapping around her arms, wrapping around the feather and the wing because she's casting a hex on her competition. So that's what's going on there. Hopefully that conveys without me having to explain it, but I figured I'd mention it anyway. The other thing I want to mention is that her arms are making an X shape, and that's not an accident. That is definitely on purpose because X is one of the letters in DFX. It's an unusual letter. It's got a really fun shape for composition, so I figured let's throw that in there. So that's why her arms are crossed. It's just making an X shape to allude to the DFX. The other question I get is, what is the weird text going around the perimeter? And that's a great question. So one of the most famous instances of witches in historical literature are the three witches from Macbeth. They don't have a lot of lines, but they do have some, and actually a couple of the lines I thought were fitting for this story I'm trying to tell with this Enchantress design. The first quote that we pulled from Macbeth was, "When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won," and that battle is referencing the Hex versus the Rock and the Buzz, or the battle of you versus your card mates or the other people in the tournament. And the other quote was, "Fair is foul and foul is fair, hovering through the fog and filthy air," which I thought was extremely appropriate for a frisbee. So we've got these two disc golf appropriate quotes that the witches said in Macbeth in different places. They're not next to each other, but I thought they were fun. So we pulled them out and used an alien font so that the letters weren't immediately recognizable and wrapped them around the perimeter. I thought the design needed a perimeter. If I didn't put some kind of perimeter out there, then the design would just end at the bottom of her arms and chop the top of her head off, and that's no good. I didn't want to put something purely decorative out there. I wanted to have some significance to the design, so we found those quotes from the witches in Macbeth and added those to the perimeter. All right, that's all I have. I hope you guys love this design. I really like it. And like I mentioned before, if you're looking for a really good mid-range, but you're not 100% in love with the rock or the buzz, then you might want to check out the Hex. It's a really good mold. All right, thanks a lot, guys.